Okay, so this is gonna be my biggest issue with Madden, and I wrote this script, and what I didn't realize is that I wrote a goddamn essay. So yeah, bear with me through this one. It might be a little longer than my other commentary videos. If you make it all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Now let's jump right into this. Okay, so Madden 21 isn't a bad game, but the reason why it's so heavily frowned upon is because the difference between Madden 20 and Madden 21 is, well, minuscule is an understatement, but it's the best way to describe it. So my biggest issue with Madden over the last 3 years have been interceptions. Interceptions, more specifically interception animations, have been way too overpowered and abused over the last 4 to 5 years. It's to the point where if somebody throws a ball and you're anywhere within 8 yards of the guy and you don't get a pick, you feel treated. You feel cheated. I mean, I was gonna bring up a video. I was gonna react to a couple of videos of people saying, like, doing this, but it got corrupted, so I won't be able to throw it in. So you've seen it, if you're watching this video, the interception animations are absolutely atrocious. Anyways, yeah, the interception animations aren't horrible. They're good animations, they just occur for the wrong guys. I mean, so when it comes to deep balls, while I understand a majority of deep balls thrown in the NFL aren't completed, a very, very, very small percentage of them are intercepted. Honestly, unless a guy has literally 9 yards of separation on a guy, it's nearly impossible to throw a deep ball in Madden. One reason why you can't throw it deep is because most of the time the ball is underthrown, but that is a whole nother video topic for another day. In the meantime, let's just stick to the interception animations. While I have no problem with underthrown balls, the problem is when a ball is underthrown, nearly every single time the defensive back will square up to the ball, jump up, and make an uncontested interception, while your receiver either A, stands there completely unresponsive to the fact that the ball has been thrown, B, jumps up, throws their hands up, but they will completely miss the ball, or C, keeps running. This is extremely frustrating because when this happens in a real game at any level, high school or above, the receiver will either go for the catch and fight the defensive back for the ball, or they will play defense and smack the ball away from the defensive back. Another example of overpowered interceptions, and I guarantee this has happened to you, especially if you play online. You see a guy, he's open, he has a guy beat by 2 to 4 yards, and you lob the ball. Then the defensive back, while not looking at the ball and even being maybe 7 to 10 yards away from the ball's landing spot, will jump up, high point the ball, and get an interception. Now I want you to just explain, if you've played football, watch a lot of football, or coach football, there are many things wrong with this. 1, he's out of phase and shouldn't be tracking the ball regardless. 2, why is a guy in a full sprint able to stop on a dime and jump this high? And 3, how can he track the ball without looking at it? But for casuals, I'm gonna use example 3. Most of the time when you throw this interception, the guy doesn't even look at the ball literally until he ends up catching it. And the second, a guy running full speed is not going to be able to look back and track a ball without slowing down. He's also not going to be able to jump properly while he won't be able to jump properly while in a full sprint. So these kind of interceptions are the most frustrating, especially since a majority of the time your guy is open. Another interception animation that is huge. So let's say you have a guy over the middle. Bam, you fire the ball in there. You see a guy breaking on the ball or coming to hit your receiver, so you try to possess and catch it. Emphasis on try. The ball gets intercepted. You go to instant replay to try to figure out what the heck just happened, and in instant replay you see the ball goes right through your receiver's hands and the DB catches it. And sometimes, hell, even most of the time, the DB's hands will go through your receivers and intercept the pass, or even around them and catch it in the most awkward position possible. And I'm not even going to explain why a guy intercepting a pass through your receiver is bad, because it should be blatantly obvious. Another problem is defenders move faster when the ball is in the air than receivers. Now, I will play devil's advocate. 1, they did try to fix this issue this year. They did nerf the users and added the change of direction. 2, receivers move slower or don't move at all when you try to click on and drag them to the ball, is because if you move too quickly or at the rate that the defensive backs move when you click onto them, you will 90% of the time run out of the path of the ball. If you play older Maddens or NCAA and try and do this, you will probably run yourself out of the path of the ball all the time, which is 100% logical and okay. Plus rocket catching was apparently huge a few years ago. It's basically where people would just swerve out of the way and then, you know, cut behind the defender to get better catch animations. But anyways, back to pointing out issues. Defensive backs move faster when the ball is in the air, which makes it when you click on a DB, whether he's out in place or out of place, wherever he is, you can quickly get to the ball, and paired with these overpowered interception animations, you can get a pick out of a throw that could have been a touchdown or should have been at least like a 30-40 yard catch. Now, with all of this being said, here's what I think EA should do to fix this issue. Now, before I say what I do, I'm a small channel, so EA isn't going to listen to me. So if you could get bigger Madden YouTubers to watch this video, whether they react to it, address it, tweet about it, Instagram it, whatever, as long as you get them to like acknowledge this in any way, shape, or form, that is the best chance for EA to actually attempt to change these. Because again, I have 400 subscribers and EA isn't going to care about my opinion. Now, if you get somebody like iMaverick with 1 million subscribers, C4 with 140k, Bengal, RBT, all of those guys, if you get those kind of guys to say this, then EA might change it. But a dude with 400 subscribers, probably getting like 500 views, maybe even not gonna get 500, maybe 100 views on this, they're not gonna listen to that. They're gonna listen to the guys getting thousands of views and actually monetizing their game. So anyways, number one way you can fix this, it would be obviously to nerf interception animations or swap them with the SWAT button. Because in Madden, you honestly get better animations going for interceptions than you do picks, which is backwards. You should get better SWAT animations than you do pick animations. I want you to watch Stephen Gilmore highlights or any cornerback's highlights and see when the quarterback throws a jump ball against him, how many times does he go for the pick and how many times he punches the ball out. Now, I feel like EA should nerf interceptions to the point where, well, you shouldn't drop them, but you should only be able to catch them if the ball is pretty much thrown right at you or is underthrown and is coming right at you. And then buff the SWAT animations. I honestly think it should be flipped. Swatting a pass is the most successful way and the most attempted way to defend a pass in real life. Hell, even defensive linemen do this. So in Madden, the SWAT is majorly unreliable, and sometimes you even swat with the wrong hand. And I feel like if you make it to where SWATs are the effective way to defend a thrown pass and interceptions are more of a gamble, the game will feel way better. I.e., like if you go for a pick and your defender is out of position, he will literally sometimes even just teleport and warp in front of the guy and make an interception. Sometimes he will literally hurdle the guy and get an interception. But if you go for a SWAT and you're out of position, your guy just kind of stands there and throws up his hand and it'll be like out of reach. That should be flipped. All right, that's what I mean there, just to clarify. Another way to help is to double down on nerfing users. They did nerf users this year, but I mean, yeah, it's good, but if you click onto a DB, it's just like Madden 19, Madden 20. If you're going to keep interceptions the way they are, then you have to double down on nerfing users, because being able to cover 10 to 20 yards in every direction and being able to click on and get to literally any passes with the added ability to moss receivers and catch passes through them is just way too overpowered. Another way to fix this issue is to double down on the throwing arcs. Now, they did it last year and I hope they would do it again, because like you will throw a ball that's going to land on the 50-yard line and a guy standing on the 35-yard line will intercept it, and you'll look at the replay and the ball is literally like barely above his helmet when it's traveling. And I know you're gonna say you should touch pass or lob it, but even when you touch pass it, it still happens. And even if it doesn't, most of the time people will click on and just end up jumping the route because the travel time is so long when you touch pass or lob the ball. Anyways, that's my issue with Madden, and it's been my biggest issue with Madden over the last 3-4 years. The interception animations are way too powerful and need to be nerfed. EA needs to make it to where going for SWATs is the safe way to play and the most effective way to defend the pass, and going for interceptions or a high risk gamble, because that's honestly what it is in real life. And honestly, if they properly nerf interceptions, they can keep users the way they are, because they are in a good spot right now. But the problem is that you just get way too powerful interception animations. So if you made it this far in the video, this is the end. So if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you. This is going to be a longer commentary one. Make sure you hit subscribe. If we get enough subscribers, maybe I'll actually have an influence on the Madden community, and maybe I'll be able to actually get my word out to Electronic Arts. Let me know down in the comments if you have an alternative way to fix the interceptions, or if you have an alternate opinion, or even if you agree with mine. I know it's a little odd and it's not very popular because everybody likes getting interceptions. But anyways, it's your Hokage, it's your boy Exit 1 Foxy. If you know, man, because we know we up next. And